So almost everything from Black Ops 6 Zombies is going to be transferring over to Black Ops 7 Zombies on launch. Now there's some things that are going to be held back for Season 1, which I'll come onto in a second, but all 11 of the Black Ops 6 Zombies perks are going to be available at launch with a new perk which is Wisp Tea, and most of the ammo mods and field upgrades are going to be available, with some being postponed for Season 1. So for ammo mods, Brain Rot, Napalm Burst, Shadow Rift, Deadwire and Cryo Freeze will be there at launch, and also Fireworks is returning that we haven't seen since Black Ops 3 for some weird reason, but I'm glad it's finally back. Field upgrades, Toxic Growth, Dark Flare, Healing Aura, Frenzied Guard, Energy Mine and Ether Shroud will all be there at release, and all of the augments are going to be transferring over from Black Ops 6 to Black Ops 7, but there's going to be some slight adjustments, tunes and tweaks, so you'll have to learn some new tricks. So all of the 6 augments will be there, but there's going to be 2 brand new augments, 1 major and 1 minor for every single item as well, but you won't need to re-unlock all of the augments that you've done from Black Ops 6, that will all transfer over. And if you research all 8 augments in your research diagram, you can then unlock the extra slot minor augment, which enables you to equip a second minor augment in game. Therefore, once you fully research a specific perk, ammo mod, field upgrade, etc., in Black Ops 7 you have a total of 8 augments, with 3, 1 major, 2 minor being active during a match. But like I said, there are some ammo mods and field upgrades not there at launch, which are Light Mend and Shatter Blast for the ammo mods, and 3 field upgrades, Tesla Storm, Frost Blast and Mr. Peace, which has literally only just released a Black Ops 6, and they will all apparently be coming, each with 2 new augments and an additional minor augment slot to unlock to bolster your offensive capabilities further during Season 1. So they say during, so we don't know when, if it's going to be at the start or just in Reloaded or both. They're going to be sporadically released. I don't understand why they're holding back Black Ops 6 stuff to then release later in Black Ops 7, but at least it'll all be in Season 1. It doesn't seem like they're going to further drip feed that into the later seasons. I mean, Mr. Peace has literally only just released. Why are they just holding him back and then going to release him a bit later? But I guess they aren't ready yet. They probably haven't designed whatever the new augments are fully. But let's go over the general changes to the augments. So anytime an augment enables an enemy to be charmed, Brain Rot perk is the obvious example. Charmed zombies now avoid slaying the last zombie in the round, allowing you or your teammates to inflict the final blow, especially helpful if you are kitting an enemy while investigating a map more closely. All big game augments for ammo mods will receive a buff to damage or frequency that they trigger. For example, the big game augment for Brain Rot and Napalm Burst ammo mods will now charm or burn elite enemies more frequently. The area of effectiveness, damage types without a hit location like Deadwire's Lightning Strike are no longer automatically considered critical hits or headshots. This also affects equipment and traps. One shot, one chance. Augments that operate on a per shot influence regarding ammunition or weapons that have multiple pellets or an area of effect damage now have a very small cooldown so as to not make them overwhelmingly effective for those weapon types. Augment examples include Dead Again for the Deadshot Daiquiri perk and Critical Eye for the Death Perception perk. A new feature for Black Ops 7 Zombies is Overheal, a modifying buff that allows players to temporarily increase their maximum health using certain augments or equipment. Here's how it works. Enhanced Health. The most you can raise your health by combined augment effects like Juggernaut's Probiotic Augment and the Stim Shot equipment, for example, is plus 100 health, above your current health maximum. Overheal employs specific tactics and you can increase your health still further. This bonus to your health is temporary, meaning unlike your regular health, it does not regenerate over time. The bonus is lost once your current health drops below the normal maximum, but it can be temporarily reacquired. Now later in the blog they mention Juggernaut increasing the maximum health from 100 to 250. I think this is just a typo and it's meant to say 150, and they are not just changing it to the regular 4-hit down system. That's crazy. Yeah, this is just a typo, otherwise I would have made note to this in the blog. Let's go over the new perk though, which is Wisp Tea, as well as all of its augments. So this is essentially Blood Wolf Bites from Black Ops 4 Zombies, if you ever played that, but it's just been reskinned and renamed. I don't know why they couldn't have just kept it like its original, but I digress. I guess this makes it seem brand new, but this perk specializes in adding a protective ethereal creature that remains near the player, appearing only after the player inflicts a large amount of damage to the enemy. Use of field upgrades, equipment, and other high damage items quickens the summoning. Once summoned, the Wisp begins to slay nearby zombies for around 30 seconds. 2 minutes later, it can be summoned again. The Wisp is summoned after defeating a number of zombies. The number is important rather than the speed of slaying, though obviously, the Wisp will appear more quickly if the enemies are killed with haste. The Wisp targets all zombie types indiscriminately. The Wisp also realizes the importance of turning around and will refrain from killing the last zombie remaining. Amazing, this is going to make Easter egg hunting so much fun, especially on such a large map like this. You don't want to have the final zombie just dying, and actually this has been something I have been asking for recently even, and it seems like Treyarch have answered the zombies community's calls kills, because it's been so annoying how zombies have just been dying out at the end of rounds, and they have been for a while. This is going to be great. But now let's go over the augments. So the major ones are Mask of Wraith, the demon does more damage. Mask of Salvation, the fox can revive you while it's active. This can be done up to 3 times per match. Mask of Distraction, the monkey attracts enemies and does damage in an area. Mask of Benevolence, the maiden does not attack but will periodically heal you. The minor augments are Extension, increase the wisp's lifetime. Haste, decrease the cooldown before a wisp can be summoned. Zombie Sitter, the wisp will attract and avoid damaging the last zombie in the round until the round times out. Fetcher, the wisp will pick up items and power-ups for you, aside from the nuke. Treyarch have also made some changes to the Perk and Wonder Fizz system. So the base purchase price of perks is based on previously purchased perks, and increases to the price now don't include ones you may have obtained for free using power-ups, Gobblegums, or Easter eggs, for example. So this is fantastic news, as it's just going to make it that much easier to go ahead and purchase all of the perks. In Black Ops 6, the Wonder Fizz became available around 25, but in Black Ops 7 they're changing it, where the arrival is going to be dependent on you and your teammates. It now also arrives after a certain number of perks have been bought, including repurchases by all players. So it's a little unclear what that actually means, but does it mean that you will only get access to it once you access, for example, a particular part of the map where it is? Or maybe you just have to buy a certain amount of perks, for example 4, and then you can just start using the Wonder Fizz? I don't know. So specifically, how the Wonder Fizz is going to work is it'll only spawn in solo if you buy 4 perks, and cooperative, each player buys 3 perks plus 1 perk. It is no longer capped at spawning on round 25. Now, considering Treyarch have not officially announced this is just from the YouTubers, it's possible they're still testing this out and it might not be exactly that way on release. But let's go over all of the new augments now. So for Juggernog, there's a new minor augment, which is Iron Core. Your health is increased when all of your armor plates are broken. Pretty cool. A new minor augment is Shake It Off. Incoming damage will occasionally be significantly reduced. There's also been an adjustment to the Turtle Shell major augment, which is armor completely absorbs damage to your back while also now allowing normal damage mitigation to your front. And the Hardened Plates minor augment, now the damage mitigation has been reduced slightly. For PhD Flopper, they've made a crazy change to the PhD Slider major augment, which its effectiveness when sideswiping has been reduced. This augment triggers when impact occurs during the direction of travel. So yeah, they've really nerfed it there, and they've made an adjustment to the Tribologist minor augment, which both the sliding speed increase and general speed bonus have been lessened slightly. The new major augment is Double Whammy, release a second explosion shortly after the first one. The new minor augment is Stuntman, wall jumping creates an explosion. So yes, that's right, wall jumping is in Black Ops 7 Zombies. Now I don't know how prevalent this is going to be. I assume it's not going to be that prevalent, but this is going to be so much fun seeing in Zombies and seeing how you can actually navigate and escape hordes using the wall jumping. But like I say, we really don't know how prevalent it's going to be. We've not seen any gameplay of it, so I don't know how it's actually going to function in Zombies, but judging from multiplayer, it looks really fun, and I'm glad they brought this over to Zombies in some capacity. We had little instances of wall running back in the day with Der Eisendrak and Shadows of Evil. I always like things like this that just make Zombies feel a bit more unique and a bit different to iterations we've seen before. Now let's go over Elemental Pop. So they've made an adjustment to the Vulneria Bean minor augment, as they've lessened it by a modest amount. There's a new major augment, which is Rainbow Pop. Weapons with an ammo mod equipped have a chance to deal the elemental damage that an enemy is weak to. The new major augment is Refresh Mint. Killing a special or elite enemy with its elemental weakness resets your Elemental Pop cooldown. Now Melee Macchiato. They've made a major adjustment. The damage of each punch continues to increase until round 30. The punch itself is faster. Expect different damage multipliers depending on the melee weapon you use. So yes, it's going to be a lot more useful than Black Ops 6. People were like, what was even the point of this perk in Black Ops 6? Well, they've buffed it majorly. And speaking of major, they've also added a new major augment, Mocha Maul. The punch is replaced with your dedicated melee weapon. Another great change here. And we have a new minor augment, which is the Barista Brawl. Gain more essence from melee kills. They've also made an adjustment to the minor augment strength training. The number of rounds you can one-hit kill normal enemies has been increased. Now for Vulture Aid, they've adjusted the Picky Eater minor augment. The chance to drop has been lessened slightly. They've added the new Armormatic major augment. Picking up an armor plate automatically applies it to your vest. And the Extra Servings minor augment. Special and elite enemies you kill have a chance to drop a large essence vial. Double Tap has the new Double Dealer major augment. Every 4th bullet in your weapon magazine deals double damage. The Double Down minor augment. Bullet weapons have increased penetration damage through enemies. Quick Revive has an adjustment to the EMT major augment. Players with this augment now keep up to 5 of their perks when revived. Great change. They've also made an adjustment to the equivalent exchange. Now you always go into your last stand pose KOs, quick revive is no longer removed on use, and you keep all perks if you kill an enemy while downed. The new major augment is Adrenaline Rush. Killing a special or elite enemy will start your health regeneration. The new minor augment is Emergency Medical Kit. You can now craft a self-revive kit up to 4 times. Deadshot Daiquiri has an adjustment to the Dead Again major augment. A slight cooldown has been added. The new major augment is Dead to Rights. Bullets deal bonus damage to enemies within point blank range. The new minor augment is Dead Heat. Temporarily increase your movement speed after getting a point blank kill. Death Perception has an adjustment to the critical eye major augment. A slight cooldown has been added and does not work with explosive weapons or wonder weapons. The new major augment is Sixth Sense. See enemies close behind you and take less damage from behind. The new minor augment is Hidden Gems. Death Perception can now see loot. Stamina Up has the new Guns Up major augment, Fire while sprinting, and the new minor augment, Footwork, increase non-forward sprinting speed. Speed Cola has the new Ammo Surge. Major augments gain a burst of speed when initiating a reload, and the minor augment, Prestigitation. Reloading has a chance to not use stock ammo. Now for the ammo mods. So like I said, Fireworks is back from Black Ops 3. Each bullet that hits a normal or special enemy has a chance to launch fireworks that target enemies. Last seen in Black Ops 3, this ammo mod is as brightly coloured as it is deadly, filling the air above and illuminating the nearby combat zone in a fiery light show, leading to a series of firework explosions that detonate and rip the undead apart in a vivid display of wanton violence. As the initial explosive light show has occurred, damaging zombies caught in the vicinity, stars are launched into the skies before exploding. This subsequent explosion launches a set of individual flares from the stars that fly out and hone in on additional random threats within the general vicinity. So it's going to work a bit differently to in Black Ops 3, it's going to be more of a targeted. The chance of fireworks activating depends on the enemy type, and once the light show is over, expect a small cooldown window before it is available. So the major augments are big game. Fireworks can activate on elite enemies, creating a bigger light show. Starburst, fireworks explodes immediately, sending flares through enemies in all directions. Weeping Willow, instead of targeting enemies, the flares will land on the ground and explode for a while. Fire Wheel creates 2 fire wheels that spin around and damage zombies. Minor augments are Starlight, fireworks launch more flares. Big Bang, fireworks, flares deal more damage to special and elite enemies. High Yield, increase the area of effect. Short Fuse, fireworks cooldown is reduced. Now for the returning ammo mod. So Brain Rot is back, but they've made an adjustment. Like I said earlier, Brain Rotted aka Charmed zombies will now avoid slaying the last hostile zombie in the round to preserve the turn, allowing players to keep a zombie alive during investigations. They've also made an adjustment to the major augment Big Game. This charms elite enemies more frequently. The new major augment is Caustic Fumes. Charged enemies deal toxic damage to nearby zombies. The new minor augment is Super Serum, increase the damage dealt by charmed enemies. Napalm Burst has an adjustment to the Big Game major augment as well. This burns elite enemies more frequently. The new Petroleum major augment is here as well. Napalm Burst leaves a pool of fire on the ground. The new minor augment is Backdraft, increase the activation radius. Again, Shadow Rift has the adjustment to Big Game. This activation on elite enemies occurs more frequently. There is also the new Gravity Well. Major augment, Shadow Rift becomes a black hole that pulls in enemies before teleporting away nearby enemy survivors. The new minor augment is Ammo Theorem, teleporting enemies away, adds ammo to your weapon magazine from stock. Deadwire has an adjustment to Big Game again. This stuns elite enemies sooner. And there's the new Ball Lightning major augment. Activating Deadwire launches an orb that deals electric damage to nearby enemies as it moves. There's the new minor augment Aftershock. Enemies that are stunned by Deadwire have a chance to spread to nearby enemies. Cryofreeze again has the adjustment to the Big Game major augment. This slows elite enemies more frequently. They've made an adjustment to Ice Cloud. A cooldown has been employed to adjust and lessen the number of ice clouds appearing. There is the new major augment Cold Company. Cryofreeze has a chance to activate on more than one enemy at a time, and the new minor augment is Thermal Stalk. Enemies are damaged once they are unfrozen. Now for the field upgrades. So Toxic Growth is returning, but it's not going to be exactly how it was before. Supporting a more defensive playstyle and extremely useful if you are guarding a narrower entry point from an advancing horde, Toxic Growth allows you to deploy a thicket of viciously sharp thorns that have additional benefits of being poisonous. Hold down and block pathways and or incoming enemies with the latest in mutant plant life. Add a powerful improvement to your capabilities that inflicts toxic damage. This bush of vines grows rapidly on the ground with a specific width, height, and depth to learn the dimensions of to aid in tactical placement. Enemies that move through Toxic Growth are slowed as they are poisoned and torn apart as the Toxic Growth weakens before finally disintegrating after time or after inflicting a set amount of damage. Toxic Growth doesn't harm you or your teammates. No more than 3 Toxic Growths can be active at once. So the major augments are Urticant or Urticant, however you pronounce it. Toxic Growth takes up a wider area and enemies that enter the growth continue to be slowed after leaving it. Cordyception, the first normal or special enemy to walk into the growth, is entangled and charmed, attacking other enemies that enter. shredder. Pollination, enemies killed by the growth explode, dealing toxic damage to nearby enemies and slowing them. Zukuri, the first normal or special enemy to walk into the growth becomes the toxic growth itself. The minor augments are ankle shredder, enemies moving through the growth are even slower. Green thumb significantly increases the toxic growth health. Extra charge increases max charges by 1. Plant food, killing enemies with toxic growth has a chance to drop healing fruit. Now the returning field upgrades, although that was technically returning but wasn't in Black Ops 6, we have Dark Flare. They've made an adjustment to the Dark Pact major augment. The revive speed has been increased to ensure down players are revived more rapidly. Great. There's the new Muzzle Blast major augment. The beam now deals additional damage in a cone in front of you. The new minor augment is Dusk Flame. Enemies that are hit by the beam are dealt additional shadow damage over time. Healing Aura has the new Necromancer major augment. Healing Aura can now revive dead allies. There's the new Core Nusopia minor augment. Affected players get a health overcharge. Frenzied Guard has the new Fists of Frenzy major augment. While Frenzied, annihilate enemies with your fists. The new minor augment is Dual Layer. When Frenzied Guard is active, armor durability is increased. The new Energy Mine Smart Mine major augment has more detonations and waits for multiple enemies to be in range for each detonation. The new minor augment is Recycle. A deployed energy mine can be recycled for field upgrade charge. Ether Shroud has the new After Image major augment. Distract enemies with the dark ether clone of yourself. That's a really cool one. The Impulse minor augment, deal shadow damage to enemies on activation, increase your movement speed during Ether Shroud. So Gobblegums are back in Black Ops 7 Zombies, obviously. Everything from Black Ops 6 is going to be back, and all of the Gobblegums from Black Ops 6 are going to be available at launch, but there's going to be some new ones as well, and there's going to be some changes to the Gobblegums. So like I said earlier, you can now destroy Gobblegums and convert them into essence. There's enough for everyone. When multiple players are accessing a Gobblegum machine, expect a small cooldown every time you obtain a Gobblegum to allow other teammates a chance to interact with the machine. Like I said before, now you have instant gratification for power-ups summoning Gobblegums like Killjoy on the house, etc. They will spawn in instantly instead of you having to physically run into them. A hasty departure, exit strategy, epic, activates exfil vote immediately, reduces zombie spawns during exfil, now automatically exfils the player who used the Gobblegum, counting as a successful exfil. This is partly due to the new exfil feature in Black Ops 7, which I'll talk about later. So there are 47 different types of Gobblegums at release, 41 returning, 6 new, which you can see all on screen. I'm not going to go through them all, but the new ones are here. Aftertaste is back as a rare. Conditional activates on revive. Keep all your perks after being revived. We have the Requipment Epic, timed, lasts 5 minutes. Your equipment slots refill over time. We have Power Vacuum back, epic, timed, lasts 5 minutes. Kills have a higher chance to spawn power-ups. We have Round Off, legendary, conditional, activates on round transition. Rounds prevented from advancing for 2 rounds. We have Armor Get-In, legendary, instant, receive a 3-plate armor vest and 4 plates. Gift Card Ultra, instant, gain 30,000 essence, cannot be combined with other bonuses. That is crazy. So you can't use the double points in addition to that, but that is absolutely wild that you can get so many essence from this. I guess this is because they didn't want to go ahead and have shopping free like they plan to have in Black Ops 6, so this is sort of the exchange for that. So like I said before, now instead of using your Gobblegum in a normal way, you have a second option to crush it in your hand once you select it on your HUD. Once converted, essence is automatically rewarded. The amount of essence you receive is dependent on the rarity of the Gobblegum, with Whimsical being the lowest obviously and Ultra being the highest. The double points power up stacks with this essence reward, awarding you double the normal amount of essence, which is crazy. They're really trying to get you to get rid of all these useless Gobblegums, I guess, to try and incentivize you to play more or buy more, give you a reason, I guess, to have all of these nonsense Gobblegums, as well as gives a reason for all of the whimsical ones that are pointless. The epic rarity profit sharing Gobblegum also stacks with this essence reward, awarding to nearby players as well as yourself. Cool. This feature may disable for specific zombie game modes, I guess, in the future, or maybe in the cursed mode. Let me know your thoughts on it all down in the comments below. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not here for latest and greatest Call of Duty news information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.